Hi everybody, it's Victor here from Trend Following Training for Beginners. And in today's episode, I want to talk about why doing annual review can help you to improve your training performance and improve your mental state. Coming up next. Hi, I'm back again. Just like what I said at the start of the episode, doing annual review. I wonder have any of you listeners actually done any annual review or regular review of your past trades and try to learn from them. Basically, this is a habit I basically built it up like last 3-4 years. And initially, I found it very tedious to do review. I only do it sporadically, but I found it the more I do, the more I get better. And I definitely minimum, do twice a year, middle of the year and then at the end of the year. But what I can do most of the times, I do some at the end of each month, and also once every quarter kind of thing. But meaning I definitely do one every 6 months, and at the end of the year, I definitely do one as well. So basically, for the past few weeks, as well as celebrating the new year, I've been busy. You probably noticed that. I mean, that's my sample portfolio updates that I do a podcast on. I keep about 20 to 30 number of market, so to speak, and I trade that actively over the years. So it fluctuates a bit, depends on what is hot, and the market is hot, and try to find the trend sometimes. But it's between 20 to 30, mostly about 25. And what I basically doing at the moment is basically just going through them and check the last year and how have I done? Have I actually followed my rules? And if I follow my rules, have I actually got the similar performance as my back testing? And if not, is it because due to slippage, or because I went into open a trade too late, or a day or two too late, or just or anything else? Maybe my mental state, or maybe I'm on holiday. I didn't even take a trade, and all of that happens. And also look at those trading results. Look at the mental state as well, because I have a little journal as well, keeping track of what I actually thinking over the day, of on an everyday basis, and keep track of while I'm keeping track of what my trade is doing. I just write down the news of the day itself, and also how I feel, how I felt, any other missing day, those kind of thing. So a little diary, so to speak, but more on a variety of things, but mainly about trading, news, and my mental state. Anything that upsets me or something, that kind of thing, I write them down. And over the years, what I found this little tool, this little action is very useful for me. Basically, is to emphasize a couple of things of trend following. Basically, trend following in its nature is we try to catch big trend, and each share, as far as I can see, index or currencies, they do have some up and down big trend per year. Sometimes once a week, or sometimes it could be months. But it is very few far in between, probably about 2 or 3 times a year, and you can never tell when it comes in. So this is one of the reasons why I have looking at a number of different markets, so that I just try to get a sum of all the markets. So when let's say Apple is not doing particularly well, just like doing a channel trade on side trade, not going up or down at all, but Hong Kong index might be trending down, or maybe trending up, or some of the currency, for example, British pounds against or Japanese yen, may be trending. Those kind of thing. So just try to get a sum of all the different markets, and I get an overall better result. That kind of stuff. And this is the things that I have to emphasize a lot, even to tell myself to reiterate the same thinking. That is, trend following happens not all the time. Basically, few and far between throughout the year. And if you miss one, you basically in that particular market, you could be losing quite a lot of money, and all you need just one big trend, and then just make everything back, all your small losses back, plus a bit more. and that's exactly what I try to achieve, and that's what exact trend following is. Uh, so on the flip side of that, it also basically taught me to be more patient, because just checking through my result, I can see that providing I keep up with my trading, basically tracking of the shares, and doing exactly follow exactly what my trading system says, then I should make some money. But a lot of time I see there's a lot of whipsaw. Basically, I gone in and out of the market very often, very quickly. Depends on the system signal, and I sustain small losses. And only like 2 or 3 times a year, let's say in this case again, Japanese yen. British pound against Japanese yen, you make quite big money, and that is what I have to iterate to tell myself. Sometimes you just need to catch that one large trend trade, and it can run for weeks or months, and that basically cover a lot of things, a lot of your profit as well for the year. And if you miss that, that's it. You basically could be potentially making a loss. And this also taught me to be patient. Meaning is that's what I try to say here. Because it only happens 2 maybe 3 times a year, and you never know when it's happened. And you just basically have to two things. First of all, is always follow your system, because you do not know when your signal from the system actually go into the moon, so to speak, or just go be side trend again and going up and down a channel and not making you much money, basically whipsawed, or just go to the moon, or basically go down the bottom, especially trending. That's what I'm saying. And this is rather important for myself, basically, and it teaches me to be patient, because I know the pattern. I've seen the pattern, especially when you do the review. The pattern shows up. You see that yourself. Let's say you do 10 trade per year for, let's say, Apple, and you see like 6 or 7 of them are just losing your money, but then the 3 that spread around the year itself is making you money. One of them probably mediocre, one just making you a bit of money, the other one a bit more, and then the one that making you huge input. Like for this year, for example, the Apple. The trend is fantastic, and it's still on at the moment from one of the open positions since last year. And I said it in my podcast before. I just don't understand why it's still going up, because Apple already stopped publishing the iPhone sales figures in China, and also there's a trade war between US and China, and the cost of actually getting iPhone product or Apple product is quite expensive anyway. And with the slowdown of the general economy around the world, I just don't see how Apple would continue to beat the consensus, just going up and up and up, as if it got rocket behind itself, just going up and up, defying gravity, that kind of thing. But that's the nature of trend following. You follow it and just go for months and months on end, define gravity, find everybody's expectation, and just continue. And those are the things that you need to catch it. The other thing is also you see the power of pyramiding. If you actually do pyramiding like myself, basically you add a more position up to 5, including your initial position, if the markets continue going your way, basically. And you basically add on the market, and you basically find out that without the pyramiding trade, let's say you just have 1 lot on, instead of 5 lots, we build successfully over time as the market go in your direction. Let's say you move up every 10%, 5%, or ATR. I'm using 2 ATR, so every half ATR number, I just move up and add another trade. You see that without the pyramiding happening, you might not be making as much money as you would like. So even though you catch a large trend, because a large trend cover a lot of your, give you a lot of profit to cover a lot of your small losses. But with the pyramiding, it basically exponential, create even a bigger, better profit for your trade than just taking 1 lot. But the thing is, this takes time to learn, because every time when the market move up and down, because you basically have more lots on the line, so to speak, your mental state yeah, I see my note basically go fluctuating up and down, worry about losing all the profits, thousands of pounds, and suddenly gone down only like 200 left. I'm just worried about losing and really thinking of just closing my trade. But I know from my experience, if I close my trade, I'm not following my system. And who knows, the market might suddenly move back up again because it's quite random event, so I'm concerned. And it can go up again, and I go lose out. And I don't want to do that. One of the things that taught me when I do review as well is that when I was first starting out writing things down, I really scared and worry, and I missed out on profit. So when I have, let's say, make 500 quid, and I see the trade continue to go up to, let's say, £1,000, and then it come back down to 600, I was like, oh, I better close it now, because I might go even less than 500 or 300, and I don't want that. And basically, I'm scared of losing my profit that's already on the table. It's only in the back end because I haven't closed the trade. And what happened is, very often when I close the trade, let's say I close it with £600 worth of profit, then the market just continue to go up in the direction that you initially thought, and just go up for weeks on end. And then instead of taking 600, if I have followed the system, I see sometimes I'm supposed to make £2,000 or £3,000 just on one trade, and that sort of, it hurts emotionally. It hurts a lot, and it just like I'm thumbing myself like, oh my goodness, I should follow it through. I should just let it run. But the thing is, the first rule of trading is, remember what I said before, let the profit run and cut your losses quickly. Okay. Well, a lot of times we just don't follow that through, because it's really work against human nature. And what actually happened is, the more you scare about losing money, and you actually will, in the long run, you definitely lose money by not taking up the full potential of your trade. That just when you were scared of losing money, the trade you just jump out of could be the one that actually go to the moon, and you basically stop yourself out and watch the share or whatever index or currency continue to go for a long time, making you loads of money, potential money, which you potentially have, but you potentially lost it. So the more you're scared of losing money, you potentially even lose more. So over time, I learned to let the market run. If I really worry that I might lose out and give back all the profits I have made, I basically just go for a run, go for a shower, walk away, that kind of thing, and go read a book kind of thing. But they said another good thing with doing trading using end of day data, if because I'm a busy person during the day, and I only spend about an hour or 1.5 hours per night just tracking through my trade to make sure if I need to change position next day, I have to do that. That sort of take me away from the market. I, like everybody else, check the news, check my stock up and down, the price and stuff during the day, but I don't trade during the day. I just look at it. And this is another bad habit as well. I slowly, because I write things down and say how often I look at my phone and keep track of my trade. I basically only limit myself to do it like during the day, during lunchtime. I spend like maybe 5 minutes just have a keep look. That's it. And I wait until I come back home and do my charts and research. Then I look at those trade again. But that's after the market is closed. Because what I found before also is that, especially when I first started out, I'm like everybody else, more like a junkie. We just want to look at the apps and look at the trading apps to make sure that my trade is making money or not losing money or something. It's more like a journaling, become addictive to look, checking the price, the latest price of my portfolio. And a lot of times, especially when I first started, I just found myself doing trade during the day, or at the end of the day, using end of day data and make decision when the market is closed. I was actually actively trading like a day trader, spend half an hour during lunchtime, trading or moving my positions up and down or so forth. Not at a particular time, like first thing in the morning or something, when that's what I sort of doing. But do it over the day, over the lunchtime or whatever, when I got a bit of free time. And I found myself my profit basically going down. I gone in and out of the market a lot more than what I was supposed to be doing, and not following my rules, and broke my rules, and then basically lose quite a bit of money. I presume a lot of people have gone through that as well. So those are the type of good things that if you actually have written things down, write down not just your actual trade, but what you have done, your mental state, why you're doing things, and you write things down, your regrets as well. When you look back 12 months back, and then take yourself your past 12 months mistakes, you learn a lot about yourself, your trading habits, and what you do well, and what you're not doing well, and basically you can try to learn from that. So like a lot of people set goals in January. So while I am reviewing my past 12 months trade, I set more goals. The goal is basically follow my system, but any particular emotional issues I might have. Let's say I am having argument with my wife or my parents, and then I still try to trade, and my state wasn't right. I have to when that happened, I need to basically compartmentalize the argument and basically just concentrate on trading just for that particular 1.5 hours, whatever, in the evening, and go through my market analysis and do my job properly, that kind of stuff. And don't trade in the middle of the day, that kind of things. And over time, slowly and surely, I found myself doing less of the stupid stuff, and I basically doing less trade, and then only doing whatever the system tells me to. And then I found my profit basically actually increases. However, when I first started, it's difficult. The money side is good, and I follow my rules is fine, but I set that feeling of try to go in the middle of the day and check my trading apps and stuff, but mentally I tell myself not to, and write things down as well, so that when I look back, the previous, even like 3-4 months ago, I still have that urge to try to do that, and that's in my journal actually show up. And those are kind of things that I'm able to stop myself when I start writing down and say, okay, why am I doing this? How did I get around it last time, 12 months ago, whatever, and then the habit sort of kicks in, and then it saves me tons of money, and also a lot of bad habits and things which I don't want to do. So these the type of things I'm doing at the moment. And so in general, January and February for me is quite busy. I basically I just sit at my desk, and when everybody gone to sleep, after I done my analysis for the day, I just spend a couple of hours after that, at least half an hour after my normal activity, and basically sit down and check through my trade, and then see past 12 months, and then see what I can do. So normally January, February is busy for me, and most of all is just try to learn from what I can do better from what I've done last year, and then try to scrutinize my own trade and see if anything I can learn from, if anything I can do better. And most of all, and just to see, sometimes I do some little predictions, or think the market goes a certain way, I write them down, and actually did actually happen. And a lot of times when I look back on my notes for the past 12 months, I think what I thought is going to happen didn't happen, or when I say it happened, it's much delayed. So when I say, let's say something happened, let's say the market held down 100 points today, I was thinking, oh, about tomorrow. But it actually happened, it's like 6 months down the line or something. It happens, but much later. So I found myself be very acting too quickly, too early, and didn't listen to my system and that kind of thing. So those shows up, and in the trading logs, in the trading journal as well. So those are the type of thing that's definitely good for you to do. In fact, I think I learned this habit basically from Jesse Livermore. He actually put it down in his in the Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. What he have done in that book basically shows is every, I think, Christmas, when the market is closed, he basically he instructed his buckler to basically lock him in his own safe. He got a huge safe in his mansion and lock himself in there. I think they probably got the bed or toilet or whatever it is. Basically just lock the door in somewhere quiet for like 2-3 days. He's not going out anywhere, not even talking to his wife or children. Basically just lock himself out there and just studying his trade, studying with loads of good food, and just basically quiet and think and observe what we have done last 12 months and see how we can do better. And those are type of habits that I think is good to actually use, to have as well, which will help you definitely. It sort of helped me. Unlike Jesse, I'm not locked myself in a room or something, but the action of doing reviews once a year minimum and try to do that every quarter or every month, and kind of thing. It definitely helps. So I would suggest that to the new trader. I know it's tedious. I know it sounds a lot of work. It's very boring work, but if you really want to be better, to become better, do first of all writing down, not just writing down about when you get in the market, when you get in the market, why you get in the market and things, but also the state of mind during the time when you open the trade or when you close the trade or while the trade is still open. What do you think? What type of news, driven event, or what your maybe yes heard something from somebody and some sort of prediction of what you think because some politician did something or because of your normal day job you have some insight into, they say, for example, for me, I'm in the telecom. Maybe there's some telecom news from the telecom industry that I think might affect the telecom industry and shares related to that industry and something I might be able to do something about. Those kind of stuff. So I think though if you write those things down and then look back 12 months later and then see if it actually helps you, and basically what then you see, like I said before, is you catch small little habits that you do that could actually cost you money, your mental state in a certain time, and then your actual performance. And it's a lot of work from the sounds of it, but once you've done it quite a few times, let's say just spend half an hour for the first in every January, half an hour per day, and just basically look through your old trade and kind of things, or even 2 weeks within the first month of the year, and just going through all your old trade and just build a habit slowly, and surely we will definitely find some nuggets of sort of things that you've done wrong, and it's something that you can definitely do before better, and also all those things that you have become have trade profitably. You check what you have done, the type of action you have done to actually give you the good result. Now, was it because random, or because you persistently follow some sort of process? And those one are good little nuggets to pick up as well. So you learn from both your mistakes as well as your success, so to speak. But without writing things down, ladies and gentlemen, you know nothing, because our mind are not very good at remembering things, especially remember things like 12 months ago. We probably remember our most recent success and failures, but if you ask me what have I done January last year when this actually happened, without writing it down, I would never remember it. And that's the truth. I mean, I'm not best in my memory, and I'm getting old, and slowly but surely I just my mind don't function as well as I'm like in my 20s. So if I didn't write things down, I can't remember all this stuff. And because of recency bias, all I remember is the recent pain and the joy of what I've done, and all bad habits I will never be able to spot it if I don't write them down. So this is something that I hope as a new trader you're able to learn from and pick up. And definitely a good thing to write things down and review them and do a regular basis. Minimum once a year, I suggest maybe twice a year minimum, like myself. But every month, end of the month, do a bit of review. Every 3 months, 6 months, and then and then 12 months, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be excessive, and it's up to yourself. If you've got a bit of time, a couple of hours here and there at the end of the month, just quickly look through what you've done, check through. And when you write things down, the other thing I found it also useful is don't just write down what gun the numbers, so to speak. Also put in the graph, just print out the graph and curves and basically pencil it in and say, this is what I get in, this is what I think. So write things on the curve itself, and then look at it 12 months later. Look, have you done the actual the right thing? Especially now it's 12 months ago or something, and then you look at current charts and compare the actual charts that you were looking at in prior months, and then you see, am I doing the right or not? And with sort of a hindsight, try to look back 12 months later or 6 months later, and then see what you can learn from it. But because it's visual in a graph, I found for myself anyway, I'm not a visual person. The graph speaks to be more than the words I write down, that kind of thing. And also the other good thing is writing things down, not electronically, just write down your handwriting, how you calm down, how you think, and the action of writing things down, for me anyway, seems to help me to put something in my mind, so it's sticking in my mind, so to speak, without instead of just typing on the computer, which I used to do that before as well. But where the action of actual writing things down help to we reiterate the good habits and what you need to do, that kind of things, and you remember better as well. And those are useful, and also because you calm down, just think logically, you write things down properly, and you basically have a more logical step in mind and process for it through. So those are very useful as well. So that's the end of this episode. I hope you found it useful, and after this episode, I'm going to spend another hour or two just to look through some of the charts and then learn from them. So I will speak to you soon. Bye.